So these are the Cross Wool X running shoes by Giesswein. I'm going to say Giesswein because I'm guessing the pronunciation slightly. They're basically shoes for trail runners or for hiking, but they have a couple of things that are a little bit unusual. The first one is that they're made of wool. So the inside of them is completely, as you can see, super flush, is made of merino wool. And the outside fabric as well. So if you look up super close, the fabric on the outside is also merino wool. The company's from Austria, though they deliver and sell these shoes in the USA. And so really the most unique thing about them is that they've been designed to be worn without socks. So you might be a little bit worried like me that they might be a bit smelly without socks, but wool's much more resilient to that kind of foot stink than synthetic stuff is. So they have a tendency to be less smelly. You can probably see from when I looked inside, they're also very plush inside and very comfortable for your feet. Wool's got some good thermal qualities to it as well. It's very cool in the summer, and it's actually about twice as warm in the winter than synthetic shoes. So that's useful when you're out, particularly on a hot day. The other thing that's really cool about these trainers is most sneakers or running shoes that you buy, you can't wash them. They're glued together, they're put together in such a way that if you put them in a washing machine, the glue comes apart and they come apart. But these have actually been designed to be put in a washing machine on a cool wash at 30 Celsius, or what would be a cold wash on a washing machine. So the other cool thing about these is when you've worn them a bit and they've got a bit muddy and a bit grubby, you can just put them inside the washing machine, give them a wash. Don't use fabric softener though, because it damages the wool, and don't tumble dry them obviously, and just leave them to naturally dry. As standard shoes, they're fairly neutral gait. They've got a little bit of arch support, but nothing too extreme. They're nice and breathable with the mesh on top if your feet get hot and sweaty, and the wool does a really good job of wicking moisture away from your feet. On the undersides, they've built their own grip. Let me just zoom in for you. It's quite aggressive, the lug pattern, but not so much that it would clog easily with mud, so it doesn't clog too much. The rubber itself is pretty grippy, and the lugs point in all sorts of different directions, which is actually quite useful, because often with shoes you're not just pushing off in that direction when you're walking, you're trying to stop your feet sliding left or right when you're on rocks too. They're also pretty grippy in the wet as well. With the pair that I wore, so that's really great when you're out in the rain and that kind of thing. What else is there to say about them? Not a lot else. You can change the insoles on them. They've got a couple of different types, so if you want more arch support, you can get it. From a cushioning point of view, it doesn't say on their website, but I'm going to guess that there's somewhere in the region of about a 22mm cushioning. I'll have to have a proper measure later. And you can see there is a bit of a heel to toe drop as well. My guess would be about 8mm higher on the heel than on the toe, which is pretty standard for most kinds of running trainers or running shoes that you'll get. But that's it really. In a nutshell, you know, they're very, very lightweight. This sort of thing would be ideal for somebody that's looking for shoes that are pretty cool to wear in the summer without socks. And I think there are other party pieces that you can run them through a washing machine on cool when they get grubby. But there you go, there's a quick look. That's the Giesswein, you'll have to pardon my pronunciation, and I think they're called the Wool Cross X shoes.